I will tell you, I know that Canadian Thanksgiving happened while I was gone, and I'm thankful for a lot of things in my life. I believe that a great man is a grateful man, and I try to teach my son that, and I try to teach myself that when I forget. We are so lucky to be living here, in whatever condition we are living here. I've been in a third world country for 13 days, and there were some marvelous things to see in that country, and marvelous experiences, one of them riding a camel in a desert, and I mean a full-on desert, nothing but sand. It was caramel colored and a lot of it, and beautiful, and saw a sunrise and a sunset, saw some other beautiful things as well. But I was never so glad to get home in my life. It was at once the most wonderful and horrible of adventures. I can't say horrible, but it was demanding and difficult in some cases, which is really the adventure of travel. Travel to me is one of the best ways to educate yourself there is. You do learn. One of the things that was emphasized to me is that we are far more alike, all people, than we are different, and we make too much of our differences. And it is very hard to resist that when someone's a complete asshole. But then again, haven't we all had those moments of being the complete asshole? At least I've had several. Yeah, it's a big, wide, wonderful world, and I'm glad to be back. I'll tell you more about it as the weeks go on, but I wanna tell you I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for this class. I couldn't wait to get back here. I hope you all have had an eventful break and have done a lot of good work and are ready to present and get busy. You might have noticed that these 2 racks of lights are now focused. We have carpet on the risers, we have new chairs. They are working on getting that bank of lights on a separate switch, which will put us, I guess, 100% of the remake of this room, which is pretty good. I wanted to speak, I've had a lot of thoughts about you and about actors while I was gone. And one of them was on preparation. I saw somebody that responded to our InstaFace post on auditioning about, I got an audition and I only had a day to prepare. And I thought to myself, a whole day? You were really pretty lucky to get a whole day. But that started to make me think about preparation. And this brought me to a theme that I've harped on and will continue to harp on. This market is dangerous. Why? Because there's a lot of work here. Well, that makes no sense. Until you think about the fact that because there is a lot of work here, there is an attitude that it should be easier, or I don't have to work as hard. It's not even that so much as the standard of training and the standard of work ethic. It leaves something to be desired. Now, that doesn't mean that that doesn't exist in LA or New York or any other market as well, because it does. I spent 13 years down in LA building my resume, and I will tell you that there's a lot of P.T. Barnum going on there too. 1 born every minute and 2 to take them. This market, if you want to do X-Files, FBI agent number 2, go for it. There's a lot of those roles out there. If you want to do lady number 2 or man in store or those kind of roles, that's what you want to do, God bless. This class is not for you. I'm training actors who want to work at the highest level. And the good news is you can have it, but the other news is you have to learn how to work for it and you have to raise the bar. What is preparation? Preparation is, okay, I got the script and I have an audition tomorrow, so I'll go over it, a few times and I'll learn the lines and I'll go in there and and I'll do a good job. That is preparation, yes? Okay. But if you don't really know how to do those things, if you don't know how to create a character, if you don't understand auditioning as a separate skill from acting, or you don't really know how to take a script and make it your own, you're going in at a disadvantage. There are 750,000 actors in LA. That's 750,000 people. And some of them are pretty damn good. You know, I never did, I've got like 65 credits, I think, at the last. And I never was on a show where the leads were bad. I never worked on a show where those actors, I couldn't say those actors were terrible. They were good. They knew their stuff. And I've always maintained that in an audition room, those people are not your enemies. They are your friends in one way, because they're rooting for you to come in and kill the room. Let me out of here, because that's down money to them. Their money is making the TV show or the film that they are making, and they need to get out of that room. This is a necessary evil. All they want is for you to come in and knock their socks off. Just come in and take this damn part already. And day after day, they sit there and watch actors come in, and 1 in 20, maybe, will be really good. And that 1 in 20 may not get the job because they don't look quite right. There are those things that it just doesn't feel right or doesn't look right. Sometimes that changes, but mostly it doesn't. I was, as some of you may know, I built my acting resume as a reader for a casting director who saw me and liked my work in LA. And for 3 years, I was in the room with producers, directors, heads of casting at studios, not just casting directors. I'm talking studios, guys who won Academy Awards or went to network. Auditioning, I had every facet of auditioning you could possibly think of that I did. And I was the guy that read them. And you'd see somebody come in every once in a while, and the room was transported, blown away. Why? Because all audiences are perfect, and everything you do reads. And at the end of the day, producers, directors, casting agents, the guy behind the camera are people. We want to be told a story. We want to be entertained. And if you can come in there and focus on that, instead of worrying about how you're going to get the job, or if you did a good job, if you can come in and actually act and do that, they're looking for you. They want to book you. And even if you don't get that role, the casting director is going to bring you back every single time. But if you're not prepared, what does preparation mean? It doesn't just mean to be prepared for that particular audition. It means you need to have the skills to work at the highest level. And you know what? You can tell the minute somebody walks in the room if they haven't. Now you said, have you ever had an audition where you walked out of the room and how did you put it?
When you think about it after the fact, it makes you cringe.
When you think about it after the fact, it makes you cringe. And the answer to that is yes. But there's a difference. If I do it, okay, I know why. If you do it, most of you are not sure. Is that fair? That anybody that doesn't agree with that? Probably don't need to be here if you do. Where does that come from? It comes from being prepared. I don't have any questions to answer about my level. I was trained by one of the finest teachers ever, and I stole everything from him, and I tell him that. He asked me to call him every month now. We had a wonderful conversation. I called him. He's 88 now. Michael, so good to hear from you. He's wonderful. But I did, because he was brilliant. There was him and everybody else, okay? But I paid my dues. I've done my work. This is my class. You guys are my teachers now. And when you have that confidence, when you go in the room, even when you fail, it doesn't matter. And for most of you, that's where you need to go. If you have mastery, if you know how to create a character, if you know about relationship, if you know how to take an audition script and not only learn your lines, but learn the other character's lines, so you really know what's going on from their point of view, how you create that relationship, if you know all the tricks about auditioning, if you go in and you don't even worry about any of that stuff anymore, you just be. You hook up with the reader and it's you and them and the rest of them disappear. And then you go out of the room and you forget about it. Go have a coffee, go have a beer. Go smoke some dope, whatever you want to do, but it's over, it's gone in the past, okay? If you fuck it up, do better the next time. What did you fuck up? If you don't know how you fucked up, that's a problem. If you feel bad about it and don't know why, that's a problem. Then you go get training. And I'm gonna tell you something. I hooked up on either Reddit or something. I don't know why, but I keep getting emails from young actors that are asking questions. And my first instinct, because I'm a dick, is, God, that's a dumb question. But it's not a dumb question because they don't know. And they're young. And I remember when I got the acting bug, I went out and bought every book there was on acting. And I read the Stanislavski book, and I read this thing, and that method, and the other brother method, and every other goddamn thing. And I couldn't get enough, right? And one of the questions they asked today was, is there any good online acting class? And I fucking hit the ceiling and then tried to calm down. Because it's a dumb fucking question, but it's not a dumb fucking question. Why is it not? Because they want someone to teach them something, and maybe they're not in the market that has acting training or whatever. But let me ask you a question. You're going in for brain surgery. And the brain surgeon took his class online. You gonna let him cut you? Why? The training's there. You get my point? It drives me fucking crazy. Why? Because they're taking advantage of somebody whose heart is beating for this. They want, I know what it is to want this. Are you kidding? Sustained me for 40 years. Okay? And they're taking advantage of them. One born every minute and two to take them. There's a plethora of online acting classes. You ain't gonna learn anything from it. Would you take a dance class online? How about vocal? You can't do it. There are certain things that just can't translate online. You can watch somebody do it and maybe you can get some information, but this is a visceral, one-on-one, hands-on, get up and boogie type of process. And you ain't gonna learn it any other way than to get in a room and learn it and study for years until you have that confidence. And then if you quit, you're stupid. I'm not kidding. Okay, a dance professional goes through how many hours, thousands of hours of training, and then they get a degree or a diploma. Do you really think they stop dancing? I was away for 12 days. Yet some of you know I've been learning how to play jazz guitar. And it's like my hands turned to 10 thumbs. And all those exercises I was doing daily, I forgot half the songs. Now I got to relearn them again. There was a wonderful Segovia, the guitarist that they rewrote all the classical music for because it had never been written for guitar. But he used to say, if I don't play guitar for one day, I know it. If I don't play for 2 days, my agent knows it. And if I don't play for 3 days, the whole world knows it. And this is that kind of discipline. What we do is not easy, but it is attainable, and it's wonderful. And if you're bit by the bug, why would you have it any other way? So when I say preparation, I know I'm preaching to the choir because you're here and you know how hard this is and how much work this particular course, which is called the Foundation, takes. But it's worth it, because if you continue to study and you get to where you have control over this instrument and there's no holes in it, you can cry on cue, you can do anything on cue, your body is responsive, your vocal energy is responsive. A, you're gonna get work, and B, you're gonna have the confidence to go into that room and kill it every time. And even if you don't do your best, you walk out of there knowing you're gonna get another shot. But to answer your question, I'll tell you one story and then I'm gonna get off the stage. My biggest fail was there was an audition for Disney musicals, and it was in this old church that had a concrete floor. it echoed. I don't know why they had it in there, but the piano player, I mean, it was cavernous. It was bigger than this whole area, wide open. And there's this long conference table, about 5 people there, and the piano is down in the other end of the corner. So like the doors are here, you come in, and the conference table's about here, and then like all the way to the end of the hall is the piano player. So I think I'm gonna sing for Disney, right? Because I play guitar and I sing. So I bring my guitar in, and I'm just reaching to open it, and the lady says, you can't play your guitar, we gotta hear you with the piano. And I go, okay. And I get my music, it's like an accordion. I have it taped, I mean, it's just insane. So I walk all the way down to the piano player and I spread this shit out, and he's looking at me like, really? Anyway, so then I walk all the way back, and I'm standing in front of the people and I'm getting ready to sing, right? And the piano player's going, da-da-da-da-da, you know, and I don't recognize the song. I'm not kidding. Whatever the hell he was playing, I had never learned the song that way. And I went, and I'm looking at him, and he's going, you want to do it again? And I went, sure. I had no idea. And the people are looking at me like, one guy's looking up, one guy's looking over, and I swear to God, then I start singing, and I'm going, I'm trying to find the fucking note, right? And the one guy actually did this at the table. He goes, so there's a lady there, and you know how, you ever seen a dog that had like a high whistle and the dog goes like that? Well, she's doing that, and I murdered this song pretty good. So then I have to go all the way back to the piano. Oh, fuck. And get my shit, and then I'm packing this stuff up, and they can't wait for me to get out of the fucking room, right? And then I said to myself, because I'm thinking there, what in the fuck just happened? And I said, well, I learned one thing today. And the lady actually looked at me and said, she was really interested for the first time. She said, really? What's that? And I said, I need to prepare my music in the right key. And she said, good for you. And I went outside, and I burst into sobs. And I'm not talking, I'm racking, my whole body released. I was sobbing so fucking loud at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the bright sunlight, the whole thing. And then I started to laugh because that was fucking hysterical. If I'd had that on film, I would have had a little movie that I could have saw. That was the funniest fucking thing I could have ever, if it wasn't so painful. So you want to talk about fail, epic fail? But here's the bottom line. I really, 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 really knew at that point what I didn't know. And I went and got me a great vocal teacher, and I learned how to sing. I'm an actor, I'm not a singer, but I am an actor who sings, and I can sing confidently, and I know how to do it now. I went and took not 1, not 2, but 12 musical theater audition classes, where for the first 6, this is what we learned. You're gonna be doing this tonight. Hi, my name is Michael Sims, and I'll be singing She Loves Me. Hit it. That's what we learned for 6 weeks. You know how hard that is? If you ever have a chance to go into musical theater audition, this is what you're going to see. She loves me, yeah. That's what you're going to see this. That body's not in control. The energy's all over the fucking place. They do that. They say, oh, fuck, I can hire him. Okay? So I learned all of that stuff. So the moral to this story is, if you ever feel like, oh shit, when you leave an audition, don't lose the lesson. Find out some way to learn what you don't know so that will never happen again, or will happen again less often. Welcome back. Thanks for listening. Let's get busy.